Welcome, Lion Brothers. Today's topic was something that kind of dawned on me. And it wasn't something in the sense of just first impressions, because anybody can understand. For what do they say, 7 seconds to make a first impression? First impression is how you want someone to think, maybe to see you, to hear you. No, there's something deeper. We're going to uncover that tonight. You see, because introductions and first impressions can seem like the end or be end. It could seem like if I make a mess up in that first impression, I might not hold on to it. Or I can make the best impression and I can make the best of it. Ultimately, it comes down to the way that you actually interact, how we communicate, how we bring our style together, how we can change from even just taking sunglasses off. You see, today, I'll tell you, I thought about it like this. One of the first events I ever went to, I went to a conference and I would walk in and I would say, you've ever been like that? One of your first events? You walk in, you're like, okay, so I got to go shake hands with people, right? I got to go shake their hands. I got to go say hi. I'm at a networking event. That's the point of networking. We've all been there, but what impression did you leave? How am I going to open up that conversation? What am I going to do? You see, the thing is, regardless of even if it's a client or a vendor that you want to be able to impress or to actually meet for the first time, we have to really take into consideration what that means as a first impression, what that means on a physiological level for that person, on a mental level, on an emotional level for that person that's having an interaction. You know, in a 20-minute conversation, did you know over 700 body language cues are going between even just a 20-minute conversation? 700 body language cues. And yet us, what do? As men specifically, we think about the word. We say, what should I say? But we can't even think that far either, because we don't really even think about the words at that point where it's like, okay, but I'm a man and I'm straight up and I'm pretty straight to the point. Like, I'm just going to say it as it is. First impressions mean more to the communication aspect of how you set a foundation to what the next step is. So today we're going to uncover that. And I got a couple value points and some content ideas that I want to bring you guys. A guy that's throwing on a conference very soon here, a big conference, a con, so to speak. And I got a call from him, and it's $1 million stage. They're spending $1 million to put this together. But I got a call, and I was like, okay, so it's $1 million stage. And I don't get to talk to the main guy that's running the show, not yet, even though I've met him multiple times. No. There's a vetting process. So I'm on call, which means I'm at the entry-level gatekeeper. From here, it might go to one other person. From one other person, I now know it's going to go to the main guy himself. But I got 60 seconds. I got 60 seconds on a phone. And she basically said, look, he reached out to me. He sent me your phone number. He wanted me to contact you because this is kind of a little out of the norm. There's a process to this, but because of something, I want to contact you. So that just means now it's been a little bit of an extra thing, which means I got 60 seconds. But in 60 seconds, what do? Do you start telling them about your experience? Do you start telling them that you're a real estate developer and you've made millions? Have you tell them about like what you're doing with the movement of Lions Den being here? What do you say in that moment when you got 60 seconds to talk to $1 million stage? A stage that once I'm on will change the trajectory of even what we're doing here. But one stage, one conversation led back to that 60 seconds. Today, I'm going to break down what I did in that 60 seconds. And I'm going to give you guys an actual tangible model tonight that's going to allow you to understand 60 seconds. This format is when somebody is interested in you. And what's so important about this, what's so interesting about this is that do we even know how to do it? Do we know how to make a first impression? Like if I were to ask 3 of you right now, the first 3 to raise their hands, let's see you do a 60-second pitch. Let's see you just be able to talk for 60 seconds. There we go. There's my first 3. We're going to bring in Ben right now. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. 60-second pitch. Boom. I'm Ben with Simplicity Irrigation. What we do, I've been doing landscaping and in the green industry for my whole life. Now, for the whole time I was doing it, I recognize that there's something else underground that we need to make easy for you to take care of. That's what we take care of. We make it transparent. We make it a touch of a button, a call away, and we make sure you're in the know. We offer anything from commercial, residential, and if you need help in anything else outdoors, we've got you connected. Give us a call, me and my team, take care of you.
Oh, okay. I like it. Very business focused. I'm going to give
it. It is very business focused. That's where I'm at right now.
Understood, created a bit of a story, got me interested and said, look, this is what we provide. This is how you can now move forward.
Yes,
Love
sir.
it, Ben. I appreciate you coming on and taking that courage, man. My man, come in.
What's going on? So, I'm working on this one for the city. So,
hold on, we're going for a 60-second pitch right now.
Okay, so I'm working with miracle stones, and what these stones do is they have energy. They have light energy in them. And what I do, I have Reiki infused crystals. I charge any kind of stone or crystals with light power, and I'm working on trying to get them out to everyday users, or basically out to the customers. So but these are all they're all
I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off because
yeah.
that's the minute mark. That is the minute
Gotcha.
mark. Now let's take this. Let's take this value right here. Let's take this value what we all just witnessed right here. That was fucking hard, wasn't it? That was
Yeah.
intense. Look, the best thing is that you will always know your business. You will always know what you're doing. So you will be instinctively inclined to speak about what you are good at and what you know of. So the minute that you took on stage there, he went straight towards, this is what I do, this is what I'm at, and there was no real grounding to it. There was nothing that got us going like, what's going on, bro? How did you intrigue me in? Because you could have opened that up a lot differently. Crystals are amazing. I love energy work. I'm a very spiritual man. I will tell you right now, crystals have changed my life. But I just wanted to make that point clear for everyone on the call. It don't matter if you're talking about crystals or if you're talking about $100 million deal. What matters is how you can bring somebody into a conversation. I want to get to this, guys, because this was a good example. A couple of the examples that we already just saw right now. You see someone that can go directly towards business because that's what you're good at. And then somebody that has a passion towards something that doesn't know how to articulate. You see the both examples that you guys honestly just witnessed there? Business and passion. But what was the missing ingredient? The missing ingredient is format, because most people, again, are trying to focus on what they're trying to say. What language should I say? Am I going to say the right word? Do you think I think about what I say here? I don't think about this. I have no idea. I don't have time to think about what I'm going to say next because I'm analyzing everything here. Yes, I have a little bit of an outline. Yes, I have some notes that I could possibly take. Yes, you may have a slide deck presentation. But the key thing is that you got to understand your own voice. You got to be able to take 60 seconds and introduce yourself and talk about anything and anything. So when we talk about this, guys, 60-second pitch is a very important thing. And I want to get into this on the basis of an introduction. Because when the first time you meet somebody, you have to understand it's going to be based on who. See, when we're trying to make first impressions and we're trying to shake somebody's hand or we're trying to take a selfie, trust me, I've seen this all the time, especially at 10X conferences. Half the room is trying to take a picture, a selfie with Grant and Elena. But if Grant and Elena gave them 30 seconds, what would they say? But yet they're going to go try to take that picture. You see, the difference is you got to know who you're talking to. Who is it that you're talking to and what is the intention? So now when we break it down, the first component that's going to have to be for any conversation, you have 7 seconds, going back to that statistic, right? 7 seconds to make a first impression. But what does that mean? Because we can agree with that statement, but what does it mean? Establishing rapport. Establishing rapport is the quickest thing that you can do. And in a scene, that's a little bit different than I normally talk about, guys. So I want to just refrain from saying one thing and just give you guys a little preset. Normally, I do talk to you guys about a signature talk. But what I'm going to teach you guys tonight is a little bit different. It's about going in like I had that call today. I had that call to be on $1 million stage. I have 60 seconds to think to that person, that specific person that's calling me saying, are you qualified to be on our stage? I have to go in with 60 seconds directly there. So the first thing I have to do is build rapport. How do I build rapport in that conversation? I'm gonna break this down, guys, into the L words. The first thing you got to do is you got to laugh. You got to laugh. You got to make fun. You got to enjoy your moment, because the first and foremost is that I got that call. See, most people would freak out. Most people would look at that call and be like, oh my God, what am I going to say? What should I do? Oh my God, this could be like $1 million stage. Oof. My intent. I got to laugh about it. I got to laugh about it. You'd be like, whoo, God damn, that's what I'm talking about. Buddy's assistant just messaged me this morning. I said to him, I was like, whoo. I got excited. I got laughter inside of me, because now it's about situational factor. We actually played a little bit of cat and mouse. Our call was scheduled for 2:30. I called and then she didn't answer. And then she called me back and then I didn't answer. And then by the time I got to the third one, the minute that I opened up the phone, I said, hey, I was like, we've been playing cat and mouse, haven't we? I was like, I thought you forgot about me. I was trying to make sure that we got in contact. I heard the chuckle. The minute that I heard the chuckle, I'm making somebody smile. I'm building rapport. It only took me one line. It only took me a sentence. But within that quick little second, I was able to make her excited a little bit. I got to shake the emotions up. When you get into a conversation, especially 60 seconds, gents, you better create an emotional flow, because our attention spans. How do I keep you guys attentive for 60 minutes? Because I've been trained by the best. You have to create attention even within 60 seconds. So that's what I did. It's like, I thought you forgot about me. No, she's like, oh, no. Like, I know you're right. We've been playing cat and mouse and everything. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. She's like, do you have a couple minutes right now? I was like, absolutely. You know, I just walked out of the establishment that I was in. She's like, oh, funny enough, me too. She's like, I was just inside, but I saw your missed call, so I walked outside too. Boom, relatability. That just happened by what? Freak incident? No, because I created it. I said it and I created it. So I was like, okay, now let's keep working with this now. Okay. So if I had about 10, maybe 15 seconds right there, what's the next now? How do I now move the conversation forward? Keep it simple. Second rule, keep it simple. Because at this point, she asked me one point blank question. Jay, I've looked at your social media. I've looked at things like this. I understand what you're about. But my real question is that what are you really trying to get from this? And who are you to want to be on a stage like this? Whoa, here comes the heavy question now, right? Now that we've broken that little situational factor ice break, now we're in the actual content section, so to speak. So now it's like, what am I going to speak about? So many things that I could think about. How do you break that down in 30 seconds? Think about it. So what did I do? I understood my offer. I understood my value. I was able to take all of that information and bring it together and say my intention. First step was my intention. I appreciate the question. You see, my intention for getting on the stage is exposure. One sentence. Guys, how Donald Trump is able to win presidencies is because he is very simple with his language. You don't need to get overcomplicated with it. You don't need to do a 60-minute speech. I said, my intention is exposure off of stage. I want to be honest. I want to be real. I want to say that's what I'm looking for. You get me on stage, I'm looking for exposure because people are going to see me on that stage and they're going to be like, who the fuck is Jay Dhahan? And I didn't say all of that, but that was my line. My intention is exposure. Okay. Then I went in. Now, the second level was my respect value. Exposure, but my respect value was the fact that I was able to go to this conference last year. During the time that I was there at the conference, I was not only able to just meet some incredible people, but on top of that, I was able to go out there and actually rise up above myself, to push myself past where I wanted to be. And that's one thing that I want to come back for and give that respect back to his audience so that I too can contribute to the value of rising up. You see, very simple. I didn't need to go into any details. If she wants to ask me now details and she goes, oh, okay. So completely threw her off. You could even tell by her reaction. She's like, oh, okay, wow. Yeah, okay. So how much did you make last year? She went to a revenue question after that. She went back to like her fact-finding list. How much money did you make last year? And I'm like, okay, X amount of dollars, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay. And she's like, you're locally here in Tampa? I was like, yeah. Okay, we started getting into it. So now I'm already at about 45, 60 seconds, right? 45, 50 seconds. And I'm putting it in perspective for you guys, right? The last and final thing that I could do in that actual opening and that real first impression was closing out strong. That's the third thing, guys. It's interesting to see the close out strong portion of it. In the top section, when I talked about establishing rapport, that was all about laughing. And then when you get into the keeping it simple, it's all about living. But the last one's all about loving. And the last one about loving is closing it out strong, because the way that I had to close it strong was, how is the person not hearing me, not seeing me, not thinking about me? How does the person feel? That's the magic sauce. That's the roller coaster ride that you take somebody on when you're having a conversation, whether it's the articulation of your language, like we talk about, whether it's your body language and connection, whether it's the words that you physically say. How you can make somebody feel is how you hit hard. So with her, it was interesting because she said to me, she said, okay, you know what? From everything that I already hear, as we understand with sales, I got to qualify. I got to qualify to get to the next level, the next stage. Now, her next stage was, okay, I got to present. This guy clearly is qualified enough to be on a stage. Now I have to break it down to him. It's going to be X amount of dollars to be on the stage. Okay, now you're throwing a price at me. Okay, it's going to cost me $25,000 to be on the stage. Interesting. Okay, I'll take it. I'm listening. So now I've turned the tables on her. And again, I'm putting this into a very simple perspective because the last and final component was ending off strong. So the minute that she said that, and she said, okay, and I said, so this is a panelist? She's like, yeah, you got 15 minutes on stage. You're going to be a panelist as well. And I was like, but do I get to go with the headliners? And she's like, no. She's like, it's actually that they're going to be featured on one. Those are the headliners. And we have 6 panelists that we're going to bring up that are going to have 15-minute segments. And this is this. First of all, guys, $25,000. Our budgets for PR right now are ridiculous. Like we have a massive budget for PR. So I'm okay with even spending that. I'm okay with spending that money. The difference though was this, how I had to close out strong to make that final impression. You see, a final impression may start great with a nice opener, with building rapport and creating laughter, and then you actually get into the actual language and what you want to talk about. But then at the end, the only way to close it out strong was me saying to her, listen, absolutely, I'm capable of doing it. I'm very interested. So let me allow you to the steps. Step 1 is go back to the team and see if this is an actual win for us. If I do fit into what you guys are looking for. Second thing is I want you to send me the details over of the $25,000 and everything that I include. And third thing, I will then take that back to my team, figure out what our marketing budgets are, our actual allocation for it. and we can spend it if we need to. The last thing she says to me, is there any reason, and sales gurus in the room know this, is there any reason that you wouldn't want to do this, Jay? Like the sales champion right there. You know that. Everybody knows that. I said, yeah, there is. See, this was my closeout, guys. This was my heart closeout. I said, honestly speaking, my intention was to be a headliner. I was like, I didn't know that the opportunity was for a panelist, but now having a conversation with yourself and understanding the fact that this is what an opportunity is available, I'm still not saying no to that opportunity because I do understand the importance of his stage and what you guys are doing as a team and a force. However, and guys, little keynote, side note, don't use the word but. Anytime you think of the word but, use however instead. Little side note. But I said, however, that being said, my intention really was to be a headliner to add that value. So I would love for you to also pass that message along and let the team know that that's really where I want to be. But I would love for you to send the information, see if it's a right fit. And by all means, in 2 months, you might see your boy on RiseCon stage. Simple. But you see, guys, that's what it takes. This story, and I use this example today because you guys are going to be out there and it may not be $1 million stage that you're trying to find. It may be just that next client that could change the trajectory of your life. It could be that woman in your world that's coming in and being able to just like take your life to the next level. It could be just even a best friend, like finding a friend. Us men, it's so hard to find friends nowadays. That's what we do here.